Hello friends, welcome back to Dhari. We are discussing on AWS and today we will deep dive into what EC2 instance of AWS is. So be with me to understand the end-to-end concept of EC2. Having said that, do like, share and subscribe and be with me because this is an end-to-end session. Here you will learn AWS as a master.
Friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most powerful services in AWS, EC2, which stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. If you were ever wondered how to launch your own virtual servers in the cloud, you have come to the right place. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced cloud engineer, EC2 is the backbone of AWS computing. In this video, I'll show you how to create, connect and deploy a web server on EC2 step by step. So as we know, EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. Let us try to understand the core ingredients which make this EC2. So what is Amazon EC2? Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, Amazon EC2 provides on-demand scalable computing capacity in the Amazon Web Services, that is AWS Cloud. This is the definition. However, using Amazon EC2 reduces hardware costs. So you can develop and deploy applications faster. You can use Amazon EC2 to launch as many or as few virtual servers as you need. Configure security and networking and manage storage. You can also add capacity which is scalable in nature and the budget friendly. So in a nutshell, we can say that an EC2 instance is a virtual server in the cloud. It means it's a platform which allows you to host virtual servers in the cloud. When you launch an EC2 instance, the instance type that you specify determines the hardware available to the instance. At the same time, we can even select on which operating system we want to deploy our applications into. Each instance type offers different balance to compute, memory, network and storage resources. This is EC2. In this diagram, you can see that we have C7GN.2x large. Let us try to understand this because this is the latest instance type that AWS is providing. Let us try to understand each of these abbreviation. C is the series, 7 is the generation. So that means before 7 there are 6 more generations that have evolved during AWS instance platforms. And GN stands for options. Combination of all these creates an instance family. And .2x large is the instance size, and combination of all this is my instance type. So now let us try to understand each one of these components. So as we know, EC2 computes memory, network and storage. All these combinations, all these functions are handled by EC2 instance. So Amazon EC2 C7GN instances features the new 5th generation AWS Nitro cards and deliver the highest network bandwidth and the best price performance for network intensive workloads. Why I do need these types of architectures? Why I do need these types of hardware components? Because the world has evolved and it is now going into AI and ML models. To sustain all this, we need a good infrastructure, and Amazon provides all this infrastructure for us. Now let us try to understand what a virtual server in AWS Cloud means. A virtual server in AWS Cloud is called as an EC2 instance. It is virtualized computing resource that users can rent to run their applications like databases, web servers, applications, processings, so on and so forth. How actually it works? Very simple. First of all, I have to register into my AWS. Once I register myself into AWS, I will be having access to all of the services provided by AWS. This is a known fact. Now, for EC2, users can launch an instance by using an Amazon machine image. Remember this keyword. It is also called as AMI. AMI stands for Amazon Machine Image, and this can be a question in our certifications process. AMIs are templates that contain an operating system and other software. So AMI is combination of operating system and other softwares which will make sure that your application is running smoothly on AWS cloud. Users can select an AMI from AWS, the AWS developer community, or the AWS marketplace. Users can also create our own AMIs. Once an instance is created, it runs until user stops, hibernates, or terminates it. As a network engineer, we may understand these concepts, but as a software engineer, we also need to understand these concepts. Without understanding these concepts, right, we will not be in a position to write applications which can be hosted on right platform. Now, let us try to understand scalability in AWS. Scalability in AWS is the ability of an application to adjust its capacity to meet changing demand. AWS offers a variety of services and features to help with scalability. So scalability is auto scaling, load balancers, managed services, which is cost efficient, which improves my performance, and which has enhanced user experiences. How many types of scalabilities do we have? As I told in our first session, there are two types of scalability. It is not just increase or decrease of RAM. It is a vertical scaling or a horizontal scaling. What do you mean by vertical scaling? Vertical scaling increases capacity of existing machines, whereas horizontal scaling adds more machines to distribute the workloads. When is it useful? For predictable workloads, means I know, okay, for example, I have an application. Let's take a simple use case. Okay, I have an application wherein all my registration process will be starting at 9 a.m. in the morning and concluded at 5 p.m. at evening. At that point of time, I can go with vertical scaling because I know what is my instances that will be run, and post 5 my servers can be hibernated. Whereas in horizontal scaling, if I put the same use case, I'm selling a product like Amazon sells this product, right? From 12 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I don't know how many users can hit my applications. At that point of time, I need dynamic scaling. So this is the most important concept we have to understand while choosing an instance. And examples are CPU or RAM or storage scalability, or adding more servers on the fleet. So friends, I assume that we now know what scalability in AWS is all about. Now, let us try to understand features of Amazon EC2. Amazon EC2 instances, which we are going through now, AMIs, which we discussed, and elastic in nature, which talks about scalability, key pairs, which we will learn now, security groups, which we will learn now, and EBS. All this, why I distributed these two into two different timelines is these things are theory things. Now, key pairs, security groups, and EBS we will discuss when we are doing a live demo. So friends, enough theory. Let's launch an instance and nail this off. Once you are signed into AWS, here you have to select EC2. If you click this, we will be now redirecting to EC2 setup process. And as you can see here, these are the different options that are provided by EC2. As per the definition of AWS, Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2 create, manage and monitors virtual servers in the cloud. Okay, so EC2 offers ultimate scalability and control, highest level of control, widest variety of server size options, widest availability of operating systems to choose. So these are the different features that are provided by AWS. So these are the benefits of choosing EC2 in AWS. To create an instance, we have to click this launch instance button. Once you click on this launch instance button, right, so this is just plug and play, small options that we have to understand, and it is so user friendly that you will get addicted to AWS EC2. Not only EC2, you will get addicted to AWS. So now the first step what I have to do is I have to enter a web server name and tags. For example, here I have to go with some web server name. So I'll go with a demo server. If you want to add any additional tags, we can add them here. For example, I may have demo server 1, demo server 2. So I can identify them by using some tags. Now, what is the operating system that you would like to go with? Application and OS image. And as we discussed, this is Amazon machine image. For more information, click on this info. You will understand more about Amazon machine image. An AMI is a template that contains the software configurations like operating systems, application servers, and applications required to launch your instance. Search or browse for AMIs if you don't see what you are looking for below. So these are the additional features, additional help text provided by AWS. Now here, to quick start, I will choose an Ubuntu. So friends, now we have to choose the operating system to host our application. I will be going with Ubuntu, and as you can see, Ubuntu server also provides me 64-bit architecture within which I can host my applications. And now we have to choose the instance. Remember the diagram which I told, C7GN, and this is what the various instances that are provided to me as part of choosing my operating system. And all things talks about my generation, series, and instance type, a collection of instance type. So all these are provided here, and at the same time how much it is chargeable to me, this will be given. As of now, I'm going with a free tier eligible, so I'll choose this, and let's go with a key pair login. So this is one of the most important step. In our slide we discussed on key pair securities and other stuff, right? So this is where we have to create a key pair and configure our network settings. By default, you can go with no key pair, which is not recommended. Once we click on this new key pair, Amazon will now ask me what sort of key pairs would you like to go with. So as you can see, I need to provide a key pair name. So I will say demo key pair, and I will go with an RSA encrypted one with a PEM extension file. So once I click on this key pair, it will give me the key and the pair combination. Here I will pause my video, please don't mind. Okay, so what happens is, once you get this key pair, we have to save that key pair in a secured location. As you can see, my PEM file is available. Now let us try to configure network settings. For more info, we can click here. For subnet and other informations, we can click here. Now let us try to configure firewall, which is one of the most important in my security groups. By default, I will go with a create security group. If we already have a security group that is created, we can select from an existing security group. Now I will go with all this combination. What is your configure storage that you want to have? By default, I'll go with 8 GB, which is my default configuration, and it is free tier eligible. As you can see, it says free tier eligible to customers. So friends, I have configured all the basic requirements that are asked by AWS to create or launch an instance. You can see I have a name of demo server. I have selected Ubuntu, and as 64-bit architecture, my instance is t3.micro, which we have already discussed. I have a key pair, and I have also configured all my network settings. On the right hand side, you can see summary, which says number of instances is 1, which we have configured, and it is a free tier in nature. What we have to do next is, okay, let me show this. So here I have to click on launch instance. Once I click on launch instance, done. My AWS instance is ready. Let's do that. It is now telling me, please wait while we launch your instance, and my instance is created. As you can see, my instance is created. From here, we will be having access to all the resources that are provided by AWS, and we will deploy our applications, we will configure our databases, we will go with an S3. I was thinking for S3, it is better if we can do the code in Visual Studio, wherein I would like to upload my file to S3 bucket and download my file from S3 bucket. If you like this idea to code AWS S3 into Visual Studio, download a file and upload a file mechanism, comment to this video. So friends, here this is the end of my EC2 instance where the launch process is completed. Now let us try to connect to our instance from our local box. To do that, we have to click on this connect to instance. So friends, this is how our EC2 instance looks like on AWS. We have successfully launched our EC2 instance into AWS cloud. So this is a tabular format of the EC2s that are running in current state, and what is the instance type, and is there anything that I have to look forward to configure or disable or enable any of my instances functionalities. So this is how we launch our EC2 instance into AWS. In our next session, we will be discussing on Amazon S3, and we will be integrating the upload and download functionality using Visual Studio C#.NET. So via C#, we will try to understand how to connect to AWS. Step 1. After connecting to AWS, how can I upload a local file into my S3? So in between these two, we will understand what are the configurations needed to set up an S3 bucket itself. So till then, keep watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Jai Hind.